Hello folks, here welcome to my channel. Today I will continue on this list of tutorials about how to test React application or how to test a React component. On the previous tutorial I taught you how to mock axios get method or how to make a test for axios get method, and in this tutorial I'm going to help you how to mock a delete method for axios when make a delete request using axios, and also how to create a test case for this scenario on React app. And let's first show you the UI from previous tutorial. Also I showing you this UI how to delete a user. For example, if we add it here, let me reload this one, still is work. If we added here a new user, for example this tester d and email, whatever email, and submit. So we added this user. When we press this here or when we press this one, it will delete a relevant user. And if I go back again to our code, this is where we stopped in previous tutorial, how to make a test case for get, or how to mock axios get method. In this tutorial we are going to test this function here called handle delete. So handle delete will need to check how we can mock this delete function. So that's what we are going to do only in this test case, and also how we can handle the error here. So basically if you don't find how usually to test your function, or you find that difficult, always try to use test coverage. Will help you and it will drive you what you need to test. For example, if I come back to this file here, let me clear this one. If I run npm run coverage, and it will tell me what the lines that didn't cover now, and then you can start to write test case for them. And if you see inside these hooks, now we have lines 39 and 34 aren't covered. Let's see what is this 39 and 34. 39, this is delete function itself, and 34 here, this line, let's go back again, 39 and 43. 39 this line here, this for the handle delete, and 43 for handling this error. Basically we need to add these two test cases. If we added them, then we shouldn't see this in here anymore. Let's go and do these test cases. Stop talking. Okay, if we come back here, let's add a new test case. Test, it should call post delete method with the relevant user ID. So basically, because we make a request for API, we don't worry about what happened behind the scene on the server side, but we need to check we make the right request. First, the request is delete, and also we passing the right user ID. This is what we need to test basically. If we come back again to our function here, also the function will tell us what we need to test. We need to test that we make a delete request, and also with the right endpoint and with the right ID. So let's go and do this first step, and let's find first when we call this function. So we pass this down here, we can access it directly. And how to access it, we need to import to add this line first. And this line, basically we pass this use dashboard inside this render hook, which we can import it as the top here from this library, and use dashboard, which is the hooks directory. This is where we have the function, and now we can access that function. If we need to call that function, we have to call it inside act function, which we can import the act also from this React testing library, React hooks. And inside here, let's call that function act, and this will be a callback function inside here with the curly braces. Then we'll try to access the handle delete, will be result.current.handle delete, and then call it like that. Let's see if this handle delete will expect any prom. Yeah, it will expect an ID. We need to pass relevant ID. Let's create here also in this variable, call it user ID, and for now just make 1 2 3 4 and pass this ID down to this function. And because this is asynchronous or synchronous call, we need to use async await also. async and await just before this act. And let's add more empty line here for make it more readable. So now we call the function, and what's next step? Next step, we need to add our expectation. Basically, it will be await first, because also this is a synchronous call, expect. And what we are expecting, we expect when we calling this function, the axios dot delete method to be called, to have been called with this to have been called with function. It will expect two param. First param will be the endpoint, and this scenario, if I come back again, this is the endpoint that will expect it to be called with. And the second param, it will be the data, but in this scenario, because the delete, it will not, we don't need pass any data. It will be just the ID will be part of the endpoint itself. We are going to use backtick because we are going to add a variable here, and this, instead of ID, it will be this ID here that we pass directly down to handle delete function. And if we save, so now this will not pass because we need to mock actually this delete. Let's run the test showing you first that is failing, and then we try to make it pass. Run test. So this will take some second to run, and as you see, just is saying is expect is function wrapped. So basically it will not test this function just like that. So by normal this will be just a function, and to change this, basically you need to first to mock it as a top here. You have to mock it inside here as we mocked post and get. You need to add also delete, and this will be just delete. And when you add this jest.fun, or it stands for function, so this will help you to mock it. And let's run the test again after we mock it as a top. Here we are, that the test is passing now. So basically also you need to make sure your test is failed. Basically if we change this ID to be for example it's 90 and try to save it, then the test should fail, and that just will take some second to run. And as you see, we're expecting this ID with this ID, and we're receiving this ID, so that the test is failing. That's good point. Let's just undo and return that back. So this is how we can mock axios delete method, and we have to mock it at the top here first. We need to assign this delete to be a jest function, so that will be easy to mock it here, and you can call it and access the value of it by using this method to have been called with. You can use this method unless if you mocked the delete method as the top, and then you will expect it to be call this endpoint with the relevant user ID, and that how to test it. And if we go back to the test coverage, we should find the test coverage, the line 39 disappears. And you see now we have only line 43, we don't have line 34 because we did a test case for that, and that successfully passed. So that how to test this one. And line 43, if we check the line 43, so this for handling this error. Basically if we need to add also another test case for handling the error, let's add a new one quickly. How we can add that test case? Basically should handle the error when call this handle delete, and there is an error occurred. So when writing understandable or readable descriptions, it will help you to understand, or if anyone else came to read your test case will understand what is happening or what is going here. So always for good practice, try to write a proper description. And so okay, let's how we can test this. Basically we'll do the same step here, and let's just change this here. And in this scenario I'm not going to use this act. I'm going to use try catch. I will remove this from this here. Use try catch function method, and inside here let me add await, and inside catch I will add my expectation, and I don't need this await inside catch, and I will expect this error dot message to equal, I'm going to create a variable which will be called custom error dot message, and this variable I'm going to create as a top here, const, and will be object has message, and message will be just I can copy an error we have it here previously, this error for example, this error here, and this will be the error. And basically I will expect there is an error, and when caching the error will be matching this error here. And because this now will not pass because we didn't have an error, and function successfully is being called, and same as you expected, we need to reject actually this request. How we can reject that one? We can use a method for mocking. In this scenario we need to mock actually axios delete method by doing axios dot delete dot mock implementation once, because we are going to mock it only one time, and this will return a callback function. And inside this callback function I'm going to call promise, because this synchronous call will return promise, and I'm going to reject this promise and reject this promise with error, be new error, and this error value will be custom error dot message. Again, if I need to recap this quickly, I need to reject this error or delete method, axios delete method. To reject it, I need to mock the value of this request by using this promise, first call axios dot delete, then mock implementation once, because we are going to mock it only one time, and then inside it will return promise dot reject with an error, and the error text will be the same what we are expecting at the bottom here. So then we'll call this try catch. Inside try we'll call the function handle delete, and we're expecting this, it will return an error, and the error message will be same this error message here we pass down to the mock here. If we run the test, we should have the test pass. Let's run it and see how that will go. And after that, after run pass, then we need to check the test coverage again. This line 43 should disappear also. And since we have an error here, let's see what's wrong. And yeah, we have this await, and we didn't pass here async. Need to pass this async, and if we go back again, my battery is going down, low battery. Let's take some of second, and let's see, here we are. This is a test pass again. If we run the test coverage, line 43 we should disappear too, and if that disappears, that means we testing our function properly. As you see, we don't have that line anymore. Only one line left on side this card. We are going to check this on next tutorial. Basically, simply this how to mock axios delete method, and how to make a test case for axios delete method or API delete request. And also, if you find this useful, let me know on that down on the comment section, and press thumb up if you like the video, and this will help me to support me to continue adding more tutorials. And thank you for watching, and see you in very next tutorial.